Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is build video number 7 for the Stealthy fighter, or Stealthy plane. So just to let you see where we're at, we've taped up the sides here, all these joints. No need to do that on camera. We've also covered up the carbon fiber front and back. We did the little catch-up where we cut this out and put the electronics in. That was just a quick little one. Since then, I've gone ahead and made a canopy with the magnets in. Did this off camera. It's just a long, lengthy build process as I try things out. Going along and just trying to literally figure things out. How do I gotta do this? What's the shape? Everything else. We've got this lovely shape. It just pops right on with the magnets, holds on really strong, and then of course just comes right off. That will get covered black once we peel everything. I have cut out our tails. These will, I'm still trying to decide, and we'll do this another video. They're either going here, or I'm going to move them in a little bit. I'm tending to want to move them in a little bit, but I've basically put pen on those holes so I can measure over from there if I need to, if I decide that I'm going to move them over. And then I'll also need to figure out the angle, but that'll be in another video. Right now, when we set this down, it wobbles a lot. So what I want to try to do in this video is glue our little pieces. Now these pieces were shown in the original drawing. This piece here will glue right here in the center, just like that. And then you see these marks here. That's for these pieces, which will glue just like that. And because the bottom is flat and this is angled, it will pull it out to a nice angle that I'm happy with, and I like the look of that. So these not only look good, don't know whether they'll actually help it go through the air or not, but really what these are for is to raise this up enough so that the propeller, when it's in its full down position, should this belly land with it down in that position, does not snap our propeller. So we've left the paper on. We'll peel it after we're done. The glue gun is ready to go. I'm going to start with this front one up here. So we're just going to lay a very thin bead of glue right down it, just like that. And then we're going to put it down into place, just like that. Get it centered. And then I'm just going to eye it that it's square. Because this is angled, there's no way we'll be able to get a square on it. I don't want to sit and try to figure out the math on how that's going to be. We're going to let that dry just like that. And we're going to move on to these. So they're very directional. This is the front, so I keep laying them down like this so that I don't mix them up and actually accidentally do them the wrong way. We'll do one side at a time, get it set in there, and then we'll move on to the other side. So again, just a thin bead. We don't want too much overbleed just yet. We're going to go back and make sure I get some glue right there. And fill it in like we did on the sides. So this just hits on that mark and that mark. Scoot it over where we need to. It's flush up here, and we're just going to rock it till it gets itself flat on there. That's all we want, just nice and flat. And right on those marks. I'm trying to keep this as straight as possible. I don't want it to pull one side or the other, create adverse yaw on this whole thing. See, that's already feeling really, really nice. That's looking good. We can let that sit. Come over to our next one. Just a thin bead. Thin bead. We missed a little bit right here. Move this up a little bit so it's in front of you. We got it the correct way. I'm going to double check that. One and the other. We're good. Let's flush up there. Scoot it over into those marks. Again, we want to keep this as straight as possible. There we go. Make sure it's laying flat on our angled surface, which it is. Try not to push too hard because this is just exposed foam. That's sitting nice and beautiful. I'm very happy with the way that looks. I'm happy with the placement. I think it looks really great. Now that we've had a chance to have that set, I'm going to turn around to here. And we're going to peel our paper off. And again, once we do this, there's no strength in this. And so we are going to put some of our white tape with the fibers in it. And let me grab a squeegee. Just going to lay a nice little bead. It's going to come in and spread it out, just like that. Excellent. That way. Add back in that extra. Perfect. Looking good there. I'm going to spin this. I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to work on this side like this. Bead of glue. Come back in. Squeegee it off. And now I can try to lay in any extra. We have very little on here and a lot more on there. Because I want this, because it's going to take hits when it belly lands, I want this really, really strong. I want to make sure that we don't, have anything break or bust. This might bust. I may, depending on what the weight is like. Right now it's looking like it's going to be right within what we originally thought it was going to be, which is somewhere in the 210 range. So definitely sub 250, which that's beautiful. It's exactly what we want. I'm going to come over here and peel our paper here. Be real careful going to these thin edges here. You don't want to pop those. Alright, paper here. I'm just working this very slow. I'm not pulling hard. Just letting it release itself. Excellent. This one, same way. Okay, that was a tear. That's not great. So get our razor blade here, and we're just going to gently pop under that paper and just try to get it to pop up. Let's see if I can grab it. Again, just gentle. Came right off. That's great. This last one. Beautiful. Alright. Come in here. Lay down that bead. Just like that. Come in. Spread it out. Come back with our extra glue. And spread it out. I want to use this glue to strengthen this up as much as possible. Excellent. The other side here. Bead down. And then squeegee that out. And get the in and spread it up high, just like that. It'll give us a nice hard joint, and of course the glue is rubber, so it tends to flex and not break. So that's beautiful. Turn this way so I can get into here. Put our bead right down in. Got a different piece. It's got a little sharper to it so I can get down in there. Spread that nice and even in there, just like that. And do the next side here. Putting glue down in. Oops. Might have seen I moved a little bit there, but that's okay. I'm spreading this in, and so that's just going to create some nice strength. Excellent. Very happy with that. And there we have it. There's all our pieces set in. So again, the hope here is, let's see what happens when we turn this over. If we turn this over, well, not exactly. I was hoping that it would hold it up in a cradle. It's not. It's definitely going to fall to a side when this belly lands, but it's not going to hit anywhere. So it looks like our top fin here is just a little bit crooked. It's not straight up and down. I'm going to see if I can come in. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. You just heat your glue back up a little bit like that. Come over and just try to work it. I don't think we're going to be able to. A little bit, but not a lot. It's okay. Like I said, actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's this one here that's just a little off. That's okay. Again, this is just for protection. So there we have that. Now we would take our fiber tape, and take your time when you're covering stuff with this fiber tape. You know, you're going to have to make relief cuts and stuff like that. Just figure out where you want it, how you want it. I always try to do this in shingles, so here and then moving forward, so that it's overlapping this way, so that this leading edge isn't facing into the wind. If you shingled it this way, we're going to shingle it that way. So find our center. Slowly work it down one side, pressing, 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 get it down to there. And do that. And you see it's going to have to make an adjustment on that leading edge as I come down. I didn't do too bad centering that up. That's really nice. So what I'm going to do is see if I can get my scissors up, and we'll make a cut. Cuts, and then I'm going to pull one side away. Whoops, I have to get them stuck together, and fold just that one. And I know that's sticking to the other side, but we're going to pull this other side up and over and down to here. And what we've got is a covered piece. And again, this doesn't have to be ultra pretty or anything else. It just needs to be on there really tight. We're going to do one more piece. And again, we're going to look at it. We're overlapping the previous one. And because this is straight, we won't have to worry too much. And we're going to work one side at a time. Work it down. If you need to, if it starts to stick down a little bit, grab it like that, a little pull, work it down, and then smooth it out. And the other side, work it down. I'm pushing pushing my nail in. You got that glue there, so it's not a sharp angle. It's nice and rounded, and that's going to help us lay this down beautiful and smooth. All right, now that's a lot stronger, so when it drags and whatnot, it's not going to tear the foam because we've got this protective tape here. Move over, and again, working from the back forward. So with this, we can go a little bit more. What I'm going to do is go where this is bending so I don't have to do any more, because we're going to do the next edge over it. Okay. All right. Try to get it centered. And then we're going to work one side at a time. I think I'm going to work this side first. This will be the easier side to get down. Using my nail to push it down. Excellent. Now this side here, this inside is going to be a little tougher, mainly because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my finger down in there. What I'm going to do is get a small screwdriver and I'm just going to push down in. There we go. Now I can come in and smooth that. Just like that. We'll do the other side. We'll try to match, so I'm going to go like this, make a mark, my scissors, try to cut about the same. Let's see how we did. A little long. I'm going to trim a little off because I want to try to keep it as even looking as possible. That's better. Edges halfway, press it down, round it down. It's the same process over and over again. Here, smooth it as much as you can, grab my screwdriver, just run it along it. There we go. I got a little wrinkle there, it's not a big deal. Alright. Now the next one is about 1.5 inches, I believe. So we're going to try to get just a little bit more than 1.5 inches cut off. Because I want to shingle over that other edge. Should be good. Just a touch, so that's there, but just a little bit. Touch it here, come over, bring it down, over, and lay it down. The other reason we want to shingle is if it's coming down in this way, as it were, we're not catching that edge so it rolls up. It's going to flow over to the next piece of tape. The other side. 1.5 inches. That's a little bit more. We'll want to trim that down. Just that much. That's good. To where our edge starts, just a little over. That's good. Touch it on the top. Roll it down the sides. Same on there. Roll it down. Alright. Last to do is this leading edge. I'm going to want to make sure cover the majority of it, so we're about that. Obviously with the scissors I cut just short of where it bends. That should be good. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit for me. Alright, so we'll shingle it nice. We're going about 1/4, maybe a little bit more from the end. center. I'm extending it over. And what we're going to do is where this comes and starts to bend, we're just going to make a relief cut like that. So the other side, go right to where it is, just putting the scissors underneath and creating a relief cut. Just like that. So with this, they're going to overlap. So again, start in the back, push the back down first. And because this is angled, it's going to lay over that other piece. So we're shingling over. Just like that. It's nice to get this little wide area. It's going to help support it if it starts to wiggle. And of course that is the thinner area, that thinner surface. There we go. So that's really going to hold this from breaking and tearing, which we don't want. Again, check that length. Cut. That one was much better. Again, go about 1/4 of an inch bottom there, over the top. Come in with our scissors, make that relief cut on both sides. This up, pull down our relief cuts. Come on, there we go. Get that down in there. Pull this over so it shingles. That's just beautiful. The last little bits are laying down really nice. Get in there, press it in, and smooth it out. And there we have it. I'll lift this up to the camera so you can see. Sure, it's not pretty, but you know what? It's on the bottom. You won't really see it, but that is going to protect as it comes in for these belly landings. It's going to make sure that these are strong. And of course the fiber tape lets it be a little bit flexible, but that it won't, hopefully won't break, and it won't skid and tear up the foam. And that's that. So now from here, the next thing to do is work on the top surfaces. And we'll get to that in the next video. So thanks for watching. We're really close now to finishing this up and being able to, you know, take it out flying, give it a test. I do want to show one thing. Again, with these, you know, these will go on last here. There's a few pieces that, you know, didn't quite make it, but this is the pile, minus some pieces, of course, that we were left with. This is the rest of that sheet. So you can see we didn't use the entire sheet. I took this and weighed it. Mind you, this is with the paper on. We have 30 grams worth of extra foam that did not go in. And as you know, the whole total sheet weighs 110 grams. So if you take away our 30 grams that we have left over, mind you, probably a little bit more, but give or take 30 grams, subtract that, we're at 80 grams with paper. We've taken the paper off, so that leaves us with 40 grams. So we were at 155 with all the electronics and everything else. We add our 40 grams into that. That puts us at 195. Of course, we have added this tape in, so that's going to add in some extra weight. And basically, we'll weigh it all up once it's all done. We'll put a prop on it. I do have a modified, I believe it was an 8-inch prop that I modified down to 5. It's nice, it's balanced, it works. It's what's on the oldie, which I think I'm going to rename the Swan with that orange prop on it, and the tail and everything. At certain angles, it just looks like a swan, especially with the pod shooting out. So I might just change that and call it the swan. So we'll take that off of there, and I'm going to instead put these 6-inch onto the swan. It's nice and clean. I like them. They're flexible, which is nice. That should help. Should it ever nose down enough, that should prevent it from breaking. And they're a little sleeker, so should get a little bit more push with that on the oldie / swan. And we'll be able to put a prop into here until the order of our 5-inch props comes in. So anyways, folks, this is where we are at. We are nearing the end. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. In the next video, along with adding these on, we'll be covering the canopy in the black tape. Excuse me. Which is basically just going to be, it's covered in paper right now. It's going to end up being the exact same weight. We've obviously taken it out here, and I've added in these cross supports for the magnets to sit in. Very happy with the way this came out. I think once we put that black on there, it's going to look just fantastic. Really, really sleek. So, alright folks, go out there, go make it. You can do it. It's just being willing to make the mistakes and try stuff, you know. Obviously this model's not perfect, you know, things are a little off here and there. But again, this isn't large scale where, you know, being as off as we are in this model on a large scale would be possibly devastating in bigger planes. This is small, so you know, even with belly landings and stuff like that, it can knock things off. But you know, again, it should fly great. That's my hope, is that it's going to be a good flyer. So go make it, have fun, like and share these videos. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you on the next one.